Your daily energy is limited. We assume because we have 24 hours in a day that we have 24 hours to build our life. But that's a lie. If we were to visualize what a single day actually looks like, it would look something like this, where basically each circle represents 1 hour of our day. And now let's look at the reality. You sleep 8 hours, so we can already cross off 8 of the circles. So they are gone before you even wake up. And then there is survival. So eating, cooking, and cleaning up takes around like another 2 hours, easily. And then there's the maintenance part. So showering, getting ready, commuting, and the basic chores of life. That's another 2 hours. At the end, what we are left with are these 12 circles. Now, on paper, this looks like plenty of time. But here's the trap. These circles represent time, but they don't represent energy. Because we assume that as long as the clock is ticking, we are capable of doing what matters. But your energy drains much faster than time does. So you can easily reach like 4 p.m. and still have 6 circles left on the clock. But if your energy is gone, those circles are just useless because you are physically present but mentally just checked out. And this is why so many people live this tragic scenario of having like free time but feeling so exhausted to do anything meaningful with it. Don't let this be you. I realized that to change my life, I didn't need more hours. I needed to stop wasting the limited energy I had every day. Now, making the shift was a huge turning point for me because it's exactly how I found then the energy to go from a D to an A student, to get into the best shape of my life, and to teach myself the skills so I can land a job in tech. And so in today's video, I want to share the 3 insights that made that possible. How to identify like which of these circles matter most, and then how to spend your limited energy wisely. Schedule your most cognitive demanding work during your peak energy windows, rather than forcing it when you're already tired. Most people do their hardest thinking when their brain is already like half asleep. So they wake up, they check the email, they scroll through the notifications, maybe they answer a few messages, and then by the time they sit down to work on the things that move their goals forward, like their sharpest hours are already gone. And the deep work at the end gets pushed to 4 p.m. when all of their willpower is already depleted. And I did the same thing. But then I started to pay attention because during the different phases of my life, when I was building up my body, when I was learning English, when I was teaching myself how to program, I noticed this pattern. The action that moved me forward always happened first thing in the morning, because that's when my mind is at full capacity. And the great thing is that during this time, most people are still asleep. There's like no notifications, no distractions, just me and the task at hand. And the truth is, when you learn to protect your peak hours for your most important work, everything else gets easier. Because you build up the momentum, and even if the rest of the day turns out completely scattered, you know you already moved the needle on what mattered most. And that feeling compounds. It builds up the self-trust that you need to keep going. And so if you want to get started, here's what I would do. The night before, ask yourself, what is the one thing, if done tomorrow, that would get me closer to my goal? And then write it down. Like not 5 tasks, just one thing. And then block out your peak window. Now for me it's morning, and maybe yours is at a different time. And then do this task you wrote down. Before email, before Slack, before the world wakes up and starts pulling at you. And so get the most important thing out of the way, and so you can spend the rest of your energy on everything else. Ruthlessly eliminate the silent energy leaks in your day, from decision fatigue to digital interruptions, to preserve your energy for the most important. Every time you pick up your phone just to check, you're paying a tax you don't see. Because it's not just 30 seconds you spend checking, it's the 25 minutes it takes on average to get back on the same level of focus that you were before. A handful of pings can quietly erase your entire deep work block. And that's before we even start to talk about things like mental clutter, like deciding what to wear, what to eat, which notifications to respond to first. Because these are all silent energy leaks. They don't feel like much in the moment, but by 3 p.m. you're so drained and you can't even explain why it is. I started noticing this years ago, and so I made a few changes. Now, the first thing what I did is I picked out a core outfit, like the same t-shirt, the same hoodie, just with different colors. And I still have other clothes in my closet, but 90% of the days I'm just wearing some version of that specific outfit. No more standing in front of the mirror and asking myself, okay, what do I wear today? And the same I did with food. When I didn't have much money, I meal prepped like 3 times a week and ate the same meals for multiple days. And it cut down the time I was spending and thinking about what to eat, cooking, and then getting all of the groceries from the store. And that's, at the end, hours of mental bandwidth I got back every single week. But at the end, the biggest leak was my phone. And I put it on Do Not Disturb by default. So I moved all of the distracting apps off of my home screen. And I now have to search for them to get them. And also I turned off all of the notifications that weren't really urgent. Because the goal is I use my phone and not the phone uses me. And the truth is, often you don't need more hours. You just need fewer energy drains. And so when you remove them, you will have the energy left for the things that matter most to you. Even if it's only 30 minutes each day. This can already completely change your life over the course of 1 year. Reinvest your recovered energy into high leverage activities like learning a new skill or deepening key relationships. Saving energy is only half the equation. The real question then becomes, what are you going to do with the new energy? And most people reclaim an hour and then immediately fill it with more noise, like another show, another scroll, another distraction. But if you are intentional, that hour becomes the seed of something much bigger. A new skill, a deeper relationship, a clearer mind. And I had to figure this out myself. Because over time, I realized that the activities that fill me up the most are spending time with the people I love, feeding my curiosity, reading books, learning new skills, exploring technology, or building something meaningful. Now, I didn't know this from the start. And it took me many iterations and a lot of self-reflections to figure this out. And I believe this also might change again in the future. But right now, these are the most important things in my life. I also learned that moving my body is just non-negotiable. Because going for a walk, hitting the 10,000 steps a day is super powerful. It's not just about staying fit, but it's about being more focused during my work and being more present with the people I love. But here's what I learned the hard way. There are only so many things that you can focus on at a time. There are always trade-offs. And if you believe you can do it all, you're just not accepting the trade-offs that come indirectly. Because I used to believe I could do it all, but it's just not true. So you really have to ask yourselves, what are the things that are most important to me and that give me the most energy? Where do I leave filled up with energy instead of being drained? And these things, these activities, you should be spending your time on. Your energy is the most valuable resource you have. So protect it and invest it wisely. And then watch what becomes possible because of that. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And remember, keep growing, keep striving, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.